Introduction. A black body that is taken as a reference to thermodynamics and the related laws were found to be so familiar to the laws that apply to the black holes, and that was identified by Stephen Hawking to create his own ideas and come up with his novel postulates further. It was during the 1970s Stephen Hawking came up with the revelatory findings about the gravitational collapse and the singularities. Already for all the physicists before his era who followed the Einstein's theory of gravity, it was well known about the singularities. These are certain points where the space-time will appear to be indefinitely curved. It was not possible to ascertain if these infinite curves were real or don't exist at all. It was found that the singularities are formed even in the black holes by some other physicists. It was Stephen Hawking who established the fact that the first of singularities resulted in the Big Bang. Black holes are not recent findings from Stephen Hawking, yet there were scientists in the past who have mentioned about these voracious holes. These suckers are so voracious that any big objects like suns and stars can be swallowed by these black holes in no time. By the very second the object is coming to the gravity point or the suction point of the black hole, the object is drawn into the black hole in no time. Why is Stephen Hawking important? Even the light energy absorbed cannot escape out to be witnessed from the outside world with naked eye. Not even the electronic microscopes can identify what is happening inside the black holes. How the light energy is not escaping out of the black holes, and what is the predominant energy that is so strong to mask the light energy too. How anyone can travel in the path of light or particles or waves when there are areas such hindrances on the cosmos. How to identify the place where there are potential chances for black holes to exist. Stephen Hawking explains his assumptions about the black holes in a crystal clear fashion, even though it is all just the assumptions that are not backed with enough evidences. There are scientists who approve with the theories of Stephen Hawking, for there is enough logic in what he says. That is the major reason why the honorary professor is given due respect all over the world for his serious thoughts and high intellectual ability. Even though he has to face a lot of challenges in his practical life, he overcomes all these challenges and contributes so much to the scientific research and the cosmos studies. There are scientists who can think intellectually just like what Stephen Hawking does too. Interesting facts about Stephen Hawking. Yet now, of the were able to contribute their whole life or sacrifice their enjoyments just for the case of finding something that is only going to be of the best help to the others who are going to succeed. Dedication is not absolute from the scientists who fear about their own life. They are also having just one life, and they are interested to make the most of the life. Enjoyment and recreation is a must for them too. They are interested to spend time on healthier recreational activities more than what Stephen does. They are able to spend only a few hours on a daily basis to understand their own subject of research better, whereas the time spent by Stephen is too much. He spends more than what anyone could even imagine about. That is the major reason that he was able to find some of the rarest happenings in the universe by constant observations. Chapter 1. Stephen Hawking Theory in 1971 to 1972. These were presented as black hole mechanics by the great physicist in that year. Laurels came in for Stephen Hawking from all the countries for this amazing work on black hole mechanics. It was called as the no-hair theorem of Stephen Hawking. The hair vanishes the moment it gets sucked in from the event horizon. According to Stephen Hawking, his black holes are not getting smaller at any point of time. It was a puzzle all until now for the great physics of the world. First, black holes were hot. Second, black holes cannot radiate heat. Third, black holes never come down in size, at least as per the classical physics nomenclature is concerned. All of the above were contradictory facts according to the world physics beliefs. One of the most important findings of Stephen Hawking is the analytical studies about the black holes of the universe. In our galaxy, there is only one major black hole that is located in the heart of the galaxy. It was under serious analysis by the scientists like Stephen Hawking, along with the many other black holes that are far from the Milky Way galaxy. The distance between the Earth and the black holes, either in the Milky Way galaxy or the other galaxies, are so farther that there is no big equipment or tools available by our side to do the calculations to precision. There are scientists, just like the Stephen Hawking, who are constantly observing the moments in the universe for so many reasons. They are all able to find out something or the other that is related to the behavior of the black holes. Similarly, the star energy and the sun's energy, as well as the so many other planets and the galaxy's energy that are expire and found to totally as major source of energy in the universe as dark energy, is also under deeper studies in the recent times. Having said that, if anyone is not aware of the best behaviors of the stars, then it is possible to take references of the Stephen Hawking findings to arrive at some major conclusions. Instead of studying the stars afresh, taking valid points from the Stephen Hawking theory can be of potential help. How did Stephen Hawking change the world? Similarly, the Stephen Hawking theory on the black holes were revolutionary for most of the scientism in the biggest research centers of the world to follow and find something new and valid too. The best part here is that the mathematical and scientific evidences are formulated by the researchers evidently to prove a point that is backed on the findings of the biggest scientism like Stephen Hawking. Most of the findings of Aristotle earlier in the past did not have any big backup evidences. Only Pythagoras had evidences for his findings, but they were proven to be later on as they were not based on the math formula or not having scientific backup. Yet Pythagoras was able to come up with the 90 degrees or right angle formulates to donate the world with some revolutionary findings. Like that, there were not big findings even after his period to all until now, by any of the major scientists. But the clairvoyance of the scientism to come up with something innovative, Earth and every time, about the cosmos, like how the Stephen Hawking does time and time aging, is what people are appreciating about the big researches of his caliber. They are not able to give any backup evidences to their theories. The theories were most often raw. The thesis was not having any mathematical bias. The theories died not have any valid proof either. Yet after detailed researches that are done by the preeminent scientists and the research groups all over the world, it was acceptable to believe in the Stephen Hawking theories for so many reasons. This is the major reason why Stephen Hawking was said to be one of the brilliant minds of the world today. It is not the findings, but the intellectual capacity of the Stephen Hawking that was found to be amazing enough for the worldwide researchers. What did Stephen Hawking discover? Most of the assumptions of Stephen Hawking were not easy for others to comprehend the real facts involved in the process. Yet Stephen Hawking were found to be having some logical idea behind the facts that were present in the Stephen Hawking theories of all the kind. So definitely there was a bigger understanding about the universe and its cosmic objects for this personality, Stephen Hawking. These types of personalities are rare on Earth, as they had better idea about the cosmos naturally. Their bookish knowledge is not something that has contributed much to their findings, but it is the innate understanding and the intellectual capacity that has made them to be super intelligent compared to the others who hail from Earth. Some others doubt about the birth of the Stephen Hawking, like people who are not normal in the planet Earth. These personalities behave in a different manner with entirely different traits from what the humans do on a daily basis. No wonders if the Stephen Hawking age is going to extend more than 100 years or so. These intellectual personalities are born with talent, maybe because of some alien intervention. Superpowers are innate for these people, in particular to have some innate abilities that makes them to come to some slight conclusions that are backed only by their personal understanding about the cosmos, more than what they did study as subject of the mainstream kind in their universities and the colleges. The subjects for teaching in the colleges and the universities did not have the best of the knowledge that are already available with these personalities like Stephen Hawking. Either they are having some alien support, or else they are born with intervention of the alien powers. Else some of the alien powers has been transcended to their forefathers who had remained suppressive in his gene. Suppressive genes get active and become dominate at one point of time or the other to unleash the mysteries for that particular personality. They are getting superpowers. They are getting super active too. What did Stephen Hawking study? This is the reason why the personalities like Stephen Hawking are able to arrive at theories that are not easily comprehensible for the others. Our understanding is only based on the bookish knowledge or through the subjects that anyone study on planet Earth. None of the universities or the colleges is going to have something in the mainstream subject that contains what is happening in the cosmos in the recent years. At the same time, it is essential to remember about one more fact too, and that is nothing but the expanding universe. The rapid rate at what the universe is expanding makes it highly impossible for anyone to stay tuned to what is happening currently there. What anyone sees is the universe with our microscopes might have elapsed in time already a few hundred years ago. It can be understood better when anyone have a clear-cut understanding about the cones, relative nature of the time, quantum physics, and so on. A beautiful example presented here can be making anyone to understand the above-mentioned concept to clarity. Guess, for instance, the Sun in the solar system and the planet Earth. Based on the distance between the Sun and the so many other planets on the Earth, the intensity of the Sun's rays are going to influence the people who are living on these planets. Without having an understanding about the cosmos geometrically and mathematically, there is no way to figure out facts. The basic understanding has to be clear and evidence-based rather than mere assumptions. Math comes into the forefront here. Cosmic studies are purely evidence-based. When there is no evidence from your side to prove a point, then no one pays heed to what anyone have to say. Stephen Hawking always comes up with new theories only based on the research that is fundamentally having math evidence. Chapter 2. Stephen Hawking Theory in 1974 to 1975. How do the black holes disappear? As per the belief of the physics around the world, nothing can escape the black holes. Contrary to this belief, Stephen Hawking showed a new presentation that states that the black holes must emit heat or else they do vanish. The process is pretty slow for the usual black holes. At the same time, it can take a longer time for the black holes to evaporate and vanish. That time taken can be equivalent to that of the age of the universe at this point of time. One of the most important something for anyone to understand here is that the findings so far about the dark energy are just only limited. If the findings are not limited, then that is the biggest limitations for the future scientists to proceed even a single step further. For that, her current researchers must come up with two essential changes. Justified scientific research studies about the cosmos by the worldwide scientists under the leadership or the top-notch leaders in the domain, like Stephen Hawking and the so many other professionals. Dedicated researches must be conducted by pros for a definite number of years, as per the contracts they are entering into the organizations. Salaries can be on par with the dedicated hours of study, even without any relation to the amount of findings or the physical inventions. Yet there must be massive bonuses to boost and give enough financial support to the pros if they are coming up with definitive, purposeful findings and physical inventions. What did Stephen Hawking invent? The couple of changes that are brought into the field of cosmic science can bring in revolutionary changes to come up with one or the other type of solution to devise newer technologies quicker to know about the real mystery behind the black holes or the dark matter. What are the changes that can effectually bring in a transition phases is something that must be known to the entire organizations that are apparent from different localities today in the planet Earth. Observatories in the varied other parts of the Earth and both Earth or in the Moon or anywhere else like the space observatories must be increased in numbers to get to know more and more about the happenings in the universe. If not the universe, then the whole of the cosmos or the surroundings to the planet Earth must be understood better. If that is the change that is going to come in the near future, then there are all possibilities that anyone are going to hit up on something that is potentially revolutionary in the upcoming years to create sensational impact in the lives of the commons too. Remember, there are so many challenges that are being faced by so many people in different parts of the world. There are certain areas of the globe that are being affected by floods regularly. There are certain areas of the Earth that are consistently being affected by the hurricanes or the tornadoes and so on. There are some parts of the ocean where the magnetic poles are posed to pose a bigger heat for the ships and the flights that pass through those directions. All now anyone are choosing to follow only the already travelled and identified routes in the sky to travel from one place to the other, knowing the potential risk possibilities, or trying to choose the other routes in the sky. It is said so and followed so because there are potential chances of threats in very many ways that are proved to be a risky decision for the pilots or the ships or captains to attempt the new routes. What is Stephen Hawking IQ? It is 160. It is just next to Einstein amidst the physicists. Garry Kasparov has more than 190. Who devises this new technology and on what basis? There is immense potential in the sky that is cosmos to have so many means to understand about the varied types one energized that can be studies and understood well to be implied for our benefits in the planet Earth. For that, the studies are a must. For that, the research-minded individuals are a must. If the research studies are just only going to be continued on the same manner, in as snail's speed, how it is happening today, then there are no chance for improvisations that are to be witnessed in the upcoming years. Then Hawking is noted only person to have found so many things or come up with so many right assumptions that are logically being appreciated and accepted by the worldwide scientists. For a person with so many difficulties, it is possible to do so much. That means there are better people with better abilities who can contribute better too towards the improvement and the growth of the whole human populace. Yet it is the sheer selfish attitude by the people that has let them down so far. It is high time there must be regularizations done on this particular channel with the collective opinions coming in from the so many nations across the world. If that is the change this anyone are to see in the upcoming years, then that can be the road to real progress. Ask questions always. Doubts are sure to arise. Never accept anything as it is. When questions are being asked, then the answers are sure to be found at one place or the other. Stephen Hawking discoveries and inventions. Cosmic studies must be enforced right from the school days in the schools. Mandatory studies in this branch can be emphasis in all the types, so schools. All the boards of education must have these basic studies in all the schools, all until the secondary level of education completed in the schools and the junior colleges. When there are so many archives that are written by scholars, so for in the astronomical sciences, there can be a few that can be added to give clarity and throw light in the minds of the upcoming generations right from the beginning. That can kindle the interests in the minds of the commons to make them pursue something like quantum physics or the general relativity as the prime interests of studies more than what they could do with the other subjects. People are early inclined to study subjects that are money-oriented today. There are parents who send their kids to technical schools at the early stage of their life to make sure that they are getting rich dividends from the investments that they have made on their kids as soon as possible. That means the kids are forced to study something that is money-oriented more than what they are capable of doing. They are forced to study something that they are not interested to study about. They are not allowed to do what they are interested to do under most of the circumstances. Talent is one something that is cultivated under many situations. Travelling to infinity, my life. To outlive talent in this channel, the mandatory subjects are introduced in the astrophysics in the schools in all the boards. If not all the children who are studying the subjects, then at least a part of them will be inclined to dusty about the space and more faces related to the cosmos. These studies and the passion to these studies will increase by far at one point of time or the other. When that happens in the next decade, then in the successive decades, the number of physical inventions and the entire amount of study that is made in this arena is sure to be improvising more than what one could expect today. Such a tremendous growth is the dream of the biggest scientists, like Pythagoras, who had his secret societies to train and learn even ages before. The contributions of this secret society to the entire world were not limited to maths and physics studies alone, but the mathematical-based gastro studios too. They were interested in knowing about the cosmos in particular. They know that there were no angels that were coming from the sky at that point of time, as beloved by the Romans and the Greeks, but there were some other creators from alien world. They tried to communicate with the alien world too. There were enough studies that revealed us more and more about the planets and the expanding universe, as well as the black holes and the dark matter. The studies about the dark energy is not adequate, though. The knowledge is pretty concise. It is very limited to just about 4% or so. This limited knowledge about the entire universe can potentially prove to be costlier for the human extinction to happen at a fast rate, too. So without any delay, the moral responsibility to contribute to the protection of the human race must come out in the minds of the individuals from all parts of the world. That happens when there is solidarity. When that solidarity to think about the upcoming generations to come improves, then the growth and prospects are sure to come at a fast rate. When this particular transition happens at a fast rate, the upcoming findings about the super energy and the super technologies can open up assimilates and creates newer avenues toward finding better tools and equipment in every industry. These understandings and insights are not common today, though. To throw more light and give a clear-cut understanding about the real potential underlying into his branch of science for us to unleash the mysteries, Stephen Hawking is giving us an open call through its latest advanced publications. Chapter 3. Stephen Hawking Theory on Birth of Galaxies. Theory of cosmology in general says that the fledgling universe has already gone through repeated periods of quick inflation right after the initial Big Bang. Yet it was Stephen Hawking who proved a point here to throw more light on the theory. According to Stephen, the quantum fluctuations with the minuscule variations that exist in the matter distribution at the point of inflation may gain momentum to rise the spreading of the galaxies in the universe. What could start as tiny differences finally grows in the present cosmic structure what anyone is supposed to see. This is nothing but the gravity-made clump of matter that is all together. It is evident in the faint afterglow that is witnessed in the recent past in the Milky Way galaxies. Presence of foreign elements. Stephen Hawking has confirmed recently in his theories that there are aliens present in their foreign planets. There are so many galaxies out there, and there are thousands of planets in and around the solar system itself. They may have the super technology to communicate with us. They may have so many advanced resources with them to try to connect with the universal planets. They could be having the better intelligence and technology with their side to travel faster in time and space. When anyone is going to study the theory of relativity in detail, then anyone can understand the time and space very clearly. That can make anyone clearly understand the potential possibilities to travel in the speed of light. That can make anyone understand about the potential possibilities to cross from one dimension to that of the other dimension. No one in the world of Earth knows precisely well about the number of dimensions that are possibly present in the universe today. Yet there is an idea that there could be more dimensions that are not visible to us at all. In fact, what anyone calls as black matter, black holes, dark matter and the dark energy is all just the names that anyone offered the thought to study further in detail. Yet when anyone doesn't have any type of tools or equipment or knowledge or resource or alien guidance, it could really be something next to impossible. That is why anyone is spending so much time in leaving the universe and trying to comprehend on what is happening in the universe continuously. Our lifetime is pretty short compared to the happenings in the universe. Take for example the supermoon that is occurring in the solar system to be witnessed by the people of Earth. How long it takes for one supermoon appearance to be witnessed by the humans on Earth. It is more than a person's lifetime at times. 76 years frequency for supermoon appearance from Earth is not any less to make a thorough study. How anyone was able to understand about this in detail is just because of the logs that anyone have synced so many decades. During the day of supermoon, anyone do critical analysis as anyone gets a chance to watch it from the bigger picture. That records that anyone are going to leave in our lifetime about the supermoon may help the researchers who come after a period of 76 years to learn more details about the special day for the human in Earth to see a brighter and biggest full moon ever. This had happened in the past and also going unnoticed or not taken into serious considerations by some of the ancestors too. Yet all the records that anyone is maintaining today are sure to be highly useful in their future for the upcoming generations to find and understand something with clarity. It may not happen in the next few supermoons, but it can happen after 10 supermoons. Neither of us who lives in the world today may be available at that point of time, but the records what anyone leaves is sure to have a say by then. There could be many more aiming in the future era. There are scientists who are finding fault with the findings of the past era as well. They challenge the speed of light to not be the same as it is assumed by the humans so far. They challenge so many things, right from the quantum physics to many other complex subjects that are hard to understand for the common man. This is where Stephen Hawking and his theory are revered much in the human society today for his innate talent to observe things with a keen eye for details. Anyone doesn't have that vision. Anyone doesn't have that kind of logical ability to analyze pros and cons. There are so many interesting facts that are identified by these scientists who constantly spend a whole lot of time watching, reading, studying and analyzing about what is happening around us in the universe. Cosmos is something what happened to Stephen Hawking. It is really tough to understand for any one of us who don't have a basic knowledge about the quantum physics. Even for the best of the physics, it is not so sure that they are having a better idea about the cosmos all now yet. It is the sheer intelligence and the assumptions that is made by the goodly philosophers and the researchers like Aristotle or the Plato or Pythagoras that reveals plenty of novel facts that are least known to us before. So it becomes important to learn and study things first of all about what the Stephen Hawking theory says. When that is learned to perfection, then there are all chances to have a totally different idea from what anyone has so far about the universe. Aliens are there for sure. According to Stephen Hawking, there are millions of aliens. Among these millions of aliens, there are parts of the alien communities that have constantly kept trying to contact the humans on the planet Earth. Only thing is that anyone is not able to contact them at will because of our ignorance. Yet the ancestors of ours were given the permission to seek the assistance of the super ailments long before as they had better relationships with the ailments. They assumed these aliens to be the angels from sky. Chapter 4. Stephen Hawking Theory of Universe as a Wave Function, 1983. Quantum theory of gravity is the interesting concept upon what Stephen spent a whole lot of time to come up strong and solid with so many postulates. Chicago University worked with Stephen to come up with universe properties considering universe as one wave function. It was possible to predict the properties of universe in that way. Without the help of the elements, it is highly impossible for the ancient people to have built some of the remarkable wonders of the earth today. The materials used in the construction and the way it was designed might all be out of the reach of the human intelligence today. Anyone could not yet comprehend the making of some of the top-class monuments in varied parts of the world. The material of these rare constructions, as well as the ethnology applied behind the constructions, are puzzles all until now. Anyone have advanced today? Trains are there, flights are there, internet and communications have grown by far, but the basic elements that anyone is seeking for do not lie under our control always. Frank Hawking Jane Wilde, Stephen Hawking, 2016. Anyone doesn't have control of the nature. Anyone is not aware of the nature and its behavior all the while. From the ailment's point of view, the humans can be a primitive type of people of a remote planet in the cosmos. They could see us like the uncivilized beasts of the forests, too. Yes, it is possible, and there are so many evidences for that. The UFO stories are not completely revealed to the common man and women now for the so many reasons that may lead us to get demoralized to spend so many millions toward the scientific growth and advancements. Yet the money that anyone spends towards research and study in the cosmos is something that none of us can figure out precisely. Some researchers are being sponsored and done by the top-rated scientists of the world in a secret manner. Stephen Hawking findings. He was challenged with many issues and gifted with some rare intelligence as well. That is the reason he was able to fight his illness and come stronger with super findings about the cosmos. Even this great scholar has come up with some complicated situations to understand the real facts about the cosmos, as there were no evidence that were available for the public usage or reference at times from some of the premium spaces observation centers over the world. It is essential to understand that the findings of today are not just individual success, but the success of the humankind as a whole. Just because of the simple reason that there are too many nations today with so many patriotic issues to take into key consideration more than anything else, there must not be any hide-and-seek played between the nations. What is the latest development in the NASA? What is the latest update in the observatory in the South Korean Space Research Center? What is Russia doing currently, and to what extent they are successful in finding something predominant in the field of cosmology? Such updates are coming to the world only after a lot of years, by whom there are no further work to be done by the key scientists from the other parts of the world. Rather, the prowess can be speed up even far more quicker when the new findings are logged then and there, and the corresponding scientism around the world are well informed about the findings. It means there must be contributions from all parts of the world. It means there must be unison in the report system. There must be united efforts that are put forth in the right direction to find facts. There are some highly intelligent Chins, and there are some advanced researchers in Italy or Iran too. Stephen Hawking is of the opinion that there must not be any rivalry or hesitations or safety issues not to try or trust each other when it comes to safe science findings. If that barrier is there, then that delays the advancements of the human races by far. Even after so many years of existence of our human race on the planet Earth, it is pretty tough even today to find a safe and sound ecosystem to live. Most of the time, the human race is vulnerable to one type of threat or the other. There are aliens who live a carefree and joyous life, but with purpose. They are leading life in a totally different and liberal manner compared to what anyone does on the planet Earth. The aim stumbling block to reach heights for us is the diversity. Just because the people are from different parts of the world, one must not forget the simple fact that it is the sheer intelligence of the human race that helps one another, but not the discretion and the discriminations. Let any race be superior. What bothers any government or individual as long as personal and public interests are safeguarded? It is their ego. Humans are first of all afraid of their own race more than anything else. One step forward they are being pushed aside or pulled back by their own race in one way or the other more than many other artificial reasons. Do not to forget the fact that the findings of Newton and Galileo of the ancient years have not been challenged all until now. Yet the reality is far away from the actual findings today, as the current inferences of the universe reveals that there are so many different possibilities with what the light can travel in varied speeds. It means the whole theory about the light, energy, and the space or time can be totally wrong as well. One of the most complicated something to learn and study about the universe is the subject of black holes or the dark matter. Anyone is not aware of many things so far that had happened. Conclusion. The black hole taken into consideration here would be equivalent to the mass of our Sun in the solar system. Smaller black holes are also there that can vanish quicker. Enormous amount of heat is emitted during the point of end. This is a sensational finding out of all the other facts observed and illustrated by Stephen Hawking that had led the worldwide physics to dig deeper in this arena. Now, wave properties of universe, if predicted precisely, could pave way for some revolutionary findings further. Point, or the suction point of the black hole, the object is drawn into the black hole in no time. Why is Stephen Hawking important? Even the light energy absorbed cannot escape out to be witnessed from the outside world with naked eye. Not even the electronic microscopes can identify what is happening inside the black holes. How the light energy is not escaping out of the black holes, and what is the predominant energy that is so strong to mask the light energy too. How anyone can travel in the path of light or particles or waves when there are areas such hindrances on the cosmos. How to identify the place where there are potential chances for black holes to exist. Stephen Hawking explains his assumptions about the black holes in a crystal clear fashion, even though it is all just the assumptions that are not backed with enough evidences. There are scientists who approve with the theories of Stephen Hawking, for there is enough logic in what he says. That is the major reason why the honorary professor is given due respect all over the world for his serious thoughts and high intellectual ability. Even though he has to face a lot of challenges in his practical life, he overcomes all these challenges and contributes so much to the scientific research and the cosmos studies. There are scientists who can think. Introduction. A black body that is taken as a reference to thermodynamics and the related laws were found to be so familiar to the laws that apply to the black holes, and that was identified by Stephen Hawking to create his own ideas and come up with his novel postulates further. It was during the 1970s Stephen Hawking came up with the revelatory findings about the gravitational collapse and the singularities. Already for all the physicists before his era who followed the Einstein's theory of gravity, it was well known about the singularities. These are certain points where the space-time will appear to be indefinitely curved. It was not possible to ascertain if these infinite curves were real or don't exist at all. It was found that the singularities are formed even in the black holes by some other physicists. It was Stephen Hawking who established the fact that the first of singularities resulted in the Big Bang. Black holes are not recent findings from Stephen Hawking, yet there were scientists in the past who have mentioned about these voracious holes. These suckers are so voracious that any big objects like suns and stars can be swallowed by these black holes in no time. By the very second the object is coming to the gravity intellectually, just like what Stephen Hawking does too. Interesting facts about Stephen Hawking. Yet now, of the were able to contribute their whole life or sacrifice their enjoyments just for the case of finding something that is only going to be of the best help to the others who are going to succeed. Dedication is not absolute from the scientists who fear about their own life. They are also having just one life, and they are interested to make the most of the life. Enjoyment and recreation is a must for them too. They are interested to spend time on healthier recreational activities more than what Stephen does. They are able to spend only a few hours on a daily basis